Welcome student to the class of veterinary biochemistry. In today's lecture we will discuss protein metabolism. The protein are a nitrogenous rich containing macromolecule which made up of L-alpha amino acid as a repeating unit. The protein on degradation, also called proteolysis, release the individual amino acid. Proteins are the polymer of L-alpha amino acid. On degradation, the protein release individual amino acid, whatever the amino acid which made the protein. Each protein naturally made up of 20 amino acid, and this all 20 amino acid undergo its own metabolism and perform specific function. Some of the amino acid also serve as a precursor for the synthesis of many biologically important compounds. So whenever proteolysis takes place, amino acid release. Those amino acid are utilized for the synthesis of other compound or synthesis of carbohydrate or fatty acid, or it will be used as a energy source. Therefore, the protein metabolism is more appropriately learned as a metabolism of individual amino acid, because all 20 amino acid have their own metabolism and they perform specific function. In adult, near about 100 gram of free amino acid present in body, which represent the amino acid pool of the body. Out of this 100 gram, glutamate and glutamine together constitute about 50% of amino acid present in amino acid pool, and essential amino acid represent 10% of amino acid of body pool. The concentration of intracellular amino acid is always higher than the amino acid present in extracellular tissue. Okay. Therefore, amino acid enter the cell against the concentration gradient by active transport, because concentration of amino acid always more inside the cell than outside the cell. Therefore, when amino acid have to transport inside the cell, they transport against the concentration gradient by active transport. Then source of amino acid in amino acid pool. First is protein turnover. The protein in body present in a dynamic state. About 300 to 400 gram of protein per day is constantly degraded and synthesized, which represent the body protein turnover. Wide variation occur in the turnover of individual protein. Some protein will degrade faster or earlier, or some protein will be degraded in after very long period. The plasma protein and digestive enzyme are rapidly degraded and having half-life in hours or some days. Whereas structural protein, for example collagen, have a long half-life. In month and year it will degrade. Then control of protein turnover. The turnover of protein is influenced by many factors. For example, a small polypeptide called ubiquitin, having molecular weight 8500 Dalton, it tag with the protein and facilitate that protein degradation. Certain protein which contain the amino acid sequence proline, glutamine, serine and threonine, also they are represented by single word PEST called paste sequence. If the protein contain this paste sequence, they will degrade rapidly. Next is dietary protein. So there is a regular loss of nitrogen from the body due to degradation of amino acid. In healthy adult, about 30 to 50 gram of protein is lost and supplied every day. The purpose of supply of amino acid for the synthesis of protein and other nitrogen compound. So amino acid are supplied to synthesize the new protein and also synthesize other nitrogen compound. There is no storage form of amino acid as in carbohydrate, which is stored in the form of glycogen, and lipid, which is the monomer of polymer of triacylglycerol. Okay. The excess of amino acid, whatever we taken in food, they will be metabolized and oxidized to provide energy, or they will convert it to glucose or fat. The amino group of amino acid will be lost as a urea and excreted through the body. Then this amino acid will be also essential for the synthesis of non-essential amino acid. 10 amino acid can be synthesized by body, which contribute to the amino acid pool. Then utilization of amino acid from body pool. Most of the body protein, near about 300 to 400 gram of protein, are synthesized from amino acid pool. This protein mostly include enzymes, hormone, immunoprotein means immunoglobulin, then contractile protein. Many important nitrogenous compounds, for example porphyrin, purine, pyrimidine, are also produced from that amino acid, which are present in amino acid body pool. About 30 gram of protein is daily utilized for this purpose. About 10 to 15% of body energy requirement are made from this amino acid. Means 10 to 15% energy will be whatever the energy required by body. Out of that, 10% to 15% energy is supplied by amino acid. The amino acid are converted to carbohydrate and fat also. These become predominant when protein consumption is excess of that body requirement. Then metabolism of amino acid. The amino acid undergoes certain common reaction like transamination followed by deamination for the liberation of ammonia. Okay, the ammonia group of amino acid will be utilized for the synthesis of urea formation, which is the excretory end product of the protein metabolism. Whereas the carbon skeleton of amino acid is first converted to keto acid by transamination. Then that alpha keto acid will having the following fates. It will be utilized to generate the energy, or it will be used for the synthesis of glucose, it will be used for the synthesis of fat or ketone body, or it involved in the production of non-essential amino acid. These are four are the fates of amino acid when they are not required for the protein synthesis. So here the overview of protein metabolism. Though from dietary protein you will get the amino acid, from body protein which will get degraded, from that you will get the amino acid. Those amino acid will be utilized for the protein synthesis. If protein synthesis is not taking place, then these amino acid are utilized for the synthesis of nitrogen compound, or by transamination they produce the keto acid. Then that keto acid when produced, ammonia is released. That ammonia is utilized for the urea synthesis, which is excreted through the body. Whereas keto acid is used for the synthesis of energy, glucose, fat or non-essential amino acid. First we will see the transamination reaction. So transamination reaction is the transfer of ammonia group from amino acid to keto acid is known as a transamination. This process involves the interconversion of pair of amino acid and pair of keto acid. Means amino acid shift its amino group to keto acid to convert itself into keto acid and form new amino acid. This reaction is catalyzed by enzyme called transaminase, also called as aminotransferase. So here in C, keto group and amino group. In the presence of enzyme transaminase, amino group will transfer to this keto acid to form new amino acid, and this amino acid is converted into keto acid and vice versa. The silent feature of transaminase. All transaminase require the coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate, which is derived from vitamin B6. The specific transaminase exists for each pair of amino acid and keto acid. However, only two transaminase, for example aspartate transaminase and alanine transaminase, these two amines make the significant contribution for the transamination reaction. No free ammonia liberate during transfer of amino group. Means during transamination there is no free amino group is liberate. Transamination process is a reversible process. Redistribution of amino group is important for the production of non-essential amino acid as per requirement of the cell. And this transamination reaction is involved in both catabolism and anabolism of amino acid. This transamination process diverts the excess of amino acid toward the energy production. The amino acid which undergo transamination to finally concrete nitrogen in the form of glutamate. Means when transamination takes place, whenever nitrogen is transferred or ammonia group is transferred, it finally gives the amino acid glutamate. And this glutamate is the only amino acid that undergo oxidative deamination to liberate free ammonia for urea synthesis. Means first transamination will take place to synthesize glutamate. Then that glutamate will undergo oxidative deamination to liberate free ammonia, which will be utilized for urea synthesis. All amino acid except lysine, threonine, proline and hydroxyproline, all amino acid are participate in transamination except lysine, threonine, proline and hydroxyproline. Transamination is not restricted to alpha amino acid only. Means beta amino acid will also get transamination process. The serum transaminases, for example alanine and aspartate transaminase, are important for the diagnostic and prognostic purpose of. Then mechanism of transamination, how transamination takes place. The transamination is occur in two stages. First is the transfer of amino group to coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate to form pyridoxamine phosphate. Then transfer of amino group from pyridoxamine phosphate to keto acid to produce new amino acid. In this process, enzyme and pyridoxal phosphate is regenerated. Now give attention. This is active transaminase enzyme and this is coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate. Okay, this pyridoxal phosphate will bind to the enzyme. It will release the water. Okay, now it is formed. This pyridoxal phosphate is linked to the transaminase. Now amino acid came and it bind to the pyridoxal phosphate. Here you can see amino acid, it is bind to the pyridoxal phosphate. It form pyridoxamine phosphate. Here again water is released. Then in this case, in that pyridoxamine phosphate, keto acid is added. Then here amino group will transfer to keto acid to form glutamate and it will give the again keto acid. Likewise transamination reaction takes place. Then deamination, the removal of amino group from amino acid as a NH3 is called deamination. In transamination, only shuffling of amino group from one amino acid to another keto acid takes place, whereas in deamination, removal of amino group takes place. Deamination results in the liberation of ammonia for urea synthesis. Deamination may be either oxidative or non-oxidative. Now see here, in transamination, the alpha ketoglutarate and L-alpha amino acid. In transaminase, in the presence of pyridoxal phosphate, new amino acid is formed, L-glutamate. Here only shifting of ammonia from here to here to form glutamate and keto acid. Whereas in D-amino acid, in the presence of NAD or NADP, glutamate is converted into alpha ketoglutarate and free ammonia is released. Then oxidative deamination. In deamination there are two, either oxidative or non-oxidative. So first is oxidative deamination. Liberation of free ammonia from amino group of amino acid coupled with the oxidation. This oxidative deamination is mostly takes place in liver and kidney, and it provides the ammonia for urea synthesis and keto acid for the variety of reaction including energy generation. So this oxidative deamination takes place by enzyme glutamate dehydrogenase. In transamination, amino group of most of the amino acid are transferred to alpha ketoglutarate to form glutamate, and then this glutamate is served as a collection center for amino group. Means all the ammonia group is accepted by alpha ketoglutarate to form glutamate. Then glutamate rapidly undergo oxidative deamination by glutamate dehydrogenase to liberate free ammonia. This enzyme is unique because it can utilize either NAD or NADP as a coenzyme. So oxidative deamination by glutamate dehydrogenase. Glutamate, whatever the ammonia is shifted during transamination, it forms the glutamate. Then in the presence of NAD or NADP, the glutamate dehydrogenase enzyme form alpha ketoglutarate and release free ammonia. The conversion of glutamate to alpha ketoglutarate occurs through the formation of intermediate alpha aminoglutarate. Then regulation of glutamate dehydrogenase activity. Glutamate dehydrogenase is a zinc containing mitochondrial enzyme. Glutamate dehydrogenase is controlled by allosteric regulation. GTP and ATP inhibit the activity of glutamate dehydrogenase, whereas GDP and ADP activate the activity of glutamate dehydrogenase. Steroid and thyroid hormone also inhibit the glutamate dehydrogenase activity. After ingestion of protein-rich meal, liver glutamate level is elevated. So then it is converted to alpha ketoglutarate and liberate free ammonia. When cellular energy level are low, degradation of glutamate is increased to provide alpha ketoglutarate for the energy production, because this alpha ketoglutarate entered into TCA cycle to liberate the energy. Then oxidative deamination by amino acid oxidase. Means oxidative deamination takes place by alpha glutamate dehydrogenase also and by other amino acid oxidase also. So L amino acid oxidase and D amino acid oxidase, these are the two enzymes which are responsible for the oxidative deamination. These enzymes are a flavoprotein, possesses FMN and FAD group respectively. They act on corresponding amino acid, means L amino acid oxidase will act on L alpha amino acid and D amino acid oxidase will act on D amino acid to produce alpha keto acid and ammonia. The oxygen is reduced to H2O2, which later decomposed by catalase. Okay, now here see amino acid, either it is L alpha amino acid or D amino acid, respective amino acid oxidase will act. Okay, and then it will form, first it will form L alpha amino acid, then into alpha keto acid. During this reaction H2O2 is produced, which is degraded by catalase into H2O and oxygen. So L and D amino acid oxidase, they act on respective amino acid to convert them into alpha keto acid. In this way also ammonia is released and alpha keto acid is also synthesized. The activity of L amino acid oxidase is much low in body because already glutamate dehydrogenase activity is present in body, while D amino acid oxidase is high in tissue, mostly in liver and kidney. Why? We will explain on further. The L amino acid oxidase does not act on glycine and dicarboxylic acid. D amino acid are found in plant and microorganism and regularly taken in diet and metabolized by body. Therefore, D amino acid oxidase activity is higher in body as compared to L amino acid oxidase, because we have taken D amino acid in the form of food. Okay, D amino acid oxidase convert them to respective alpha keto acid by oxidative deamination. The alpha keto acid undergo transamination and converted to L amino acid, which participate in various metabolism. Or keto acid may be oxidized to generate energy or serve as a precursor for the synthesis of glucose or fat. The D amino acid oxidase is important as it initiates first step of conversion of unnatural D amino acid which is taken in the form of food to L amino acid in the body. So metabolic fate of D amino acid. Whatever the D amino acid we have taken in the food from plant and microorganism, it will first be acted by D amino acid oxidase. Here FAD is converted to FADH2 and ammonia is released. Then this alpha keto acid will be transferred for the transamination reaction to form L amino acid, or this keto acid will be provide the energy or synthesize glucose or fat. Then non-oxidative deamination. Some of the amino acid can be deaminated to liberate free ammonia without undergoing oxidation. Means there is no NAD, NADPH or FADH to produce. Okay. For example, the enzyme responsible for the non-oxidative deamination are amino acid dehydrases, serine, threonine and homoserine. These are the hydroxy amino acid. They undergo non-oxidative deamination catalyzed by pyridoxal phosphate dependent dehydrases or dehydratase enzyme. Okay. Now here for example serine. Serine undergo non-oxidative deamination by serine dehydratase to form intermediate alpha amino acid, and then it converted into pyruvic acid. Means serine, threonine and homoserine. Means if amino acid is serine, it will be acted by serine dehydratase. If it is threonine, then it will be acted by threonine dehydratase. And if it is homoserine, then it will be acted by homoserine dehydratase to produce pyruvic acid and release the ammonia. Then next is amino acid desulfhydrases. So the sulfur containing amino acid, for example cysteine, homocysteine, undergo deamination coupled with the desulfhydration to give keto acid. Means this desulfhydration responsible for the deamination, also removal of sulfur group. For example cysteine. Cysteine first it get desulfhydrase, means first sulfur group is removed, form alpha amino acid, again act by desulfhydrases, form release ammonia and form pyruvic acid. Then deamination of histidine. The enzyme histidase acts on histidine to liberate ammonia. Metabolism of histidine. Histidase is act, it release the ammonia and form urocanate. Ammonia is constantly liberated in amino acid metabolism and other nitrogenous compound. At physiological pH, ammonia exists as an ammonium ion. Despite of regular and constant production of ammonia from various tissue, the concentration of ammonia in circulation is very low. The normal concentration is 10 to 20 mg per TL. Because body has an efficient mechanism for ammonia transport and its immediate utilization for urea synthesis. Transport of ammonia between various tissue and liver mostly occur in the form of glutamine or alanine, not as a free ammonia. Means whatever the ammonia liberate in oxidative or non-oxidative deamination, it will transport in the form of glutamine or alanine. Alanine transport of ammonia from muscle to liver takes place by glucose alanine cycle, also called Cori cycle. Glutamine is a storehouse of ammonia. Glutamate is a collective center, whereas glutamine is a storehouse of ammonia. The glutamine is present at highest concentration 8 mg per dl in adult in blood among the amino acid. Glutamine serve as a storage and transport form of ammonia. Synthesis mostly occur in liver, brain and muscle. Means glutamine synthesis from glutamate and ammonia takes place mostly in liver, brain and muscle. Ammonia is removed from brain predominantly in the form of glutamine, because glutamine is freely diffusible in tissue, hence easily transported. Glutamine synthetase, a mitochondrial enzyme, is responsible for the synthesis of glutamine from glutamate and ammonia. This reaction is unidirectional and required ATP and magnesium ion. Now here see. glutamate dehydrogenase is responsible for the oxidative deamination. Okay, here ammonia is released. Okay, this ammonia is utilized by glutamine synthetase, where it combined with glutamate, utilize ATP and form glutamine, and this glutamine is freely diffusible, hence easily transported through brain and other tissue. Glutamine can be deaminated by hydrolysis to release ammonia by glutaminase, the enzyme mostly found in kidney and interstitial cell. So glutamine, which is synthesized, it will be acted by glutaminase to form glutamate, and this ammonia is released, which will be utilized for the synthesis of urea. Ammonia is not just a waste product of nitrogen metabolism. It involved directly or in the form of glutamine for the synthesis of non-essential amino acid. Then synthesis of purine, pyrimidine, amino sugar and asparagine takes place from this ammonia. Ammonium ion are very important to maintain the acid-base balance of the body. Even marginal elevation of ammonia concentration in blood is harmful to the brain. When it accumulates in body, it results in a slurring of speech and blurring of vision, and it also causes tremor, and it may lead to the coma and finally death if it is not corrected. Okay, now we will end here our first lecture of protein metabolism. In second lecture, we will discuss the urea cycle and metabolism of individual amino acid. Thank you.